reflect those of station staff, management, and advertisers.
All right, what's going on, everybody? A very happy Friday to all of you. It is Pushing the Limits. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody on the Really American Network. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is our third week. No, the end of the third week of being on the Really American Network. So we're honored to be with you guys. And the FM AM dial KSHP, of course, my personal YouTube page and website, pushingthelimits.live. We're going to have some fun today. We got some special guests lined up for you. And unfortunately, I hate to depress all of you, but we do have some very bad numbers that came out today as far as jobs gained. We'll get into all of that as well. We also have a lovely lady by Mercedes Chandler, also known on some of her social media platforms as Camp Callout, very popular on social media. She's going to be joining us here in a few minutes. A former MAGA supporter, recently now on the other side of history. So we'll be talking to her in a few minutes. But joining me in studio, she was in studio a few weeks ago, and I said, now that was a lot of fun. The people that listen to PTL wanted her to come back, as I did. Of course, she is Z. Cohen Sanchez. She is a political operative, and of course, she is from the organizer of the Un-F America tour, which I can now officially say I am a part of as well, and I'm certainly honored to be a part of what they are doing. Z, it is great to see you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, thanks for being here today. I appreciate it. I hate to start off with something really depressing, but it has to do with some of the numbers that just came out. So listen to this. I want to get your reaction to this. So first of all, the jobs report came out. 73,000 jobs were created in July. That's about 40 to 50,000 less than what they projected. But this is what's even more staggering. 258,000 fewer jobs have been gained in May and June than as first reported. And even Republicans out there are like, yeah, this isn't good. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised by any means, but I mean, the real question is going to be is, are people actually going to change their minds based on this? Because didn't Trump run a huge part of his platform based on the fact that he was going to get more jobs and people are going to be able to actually afford? He ran on affordability. He ran on cheaper groceries. I don't think we've seen any of that come to fruition.
No, we haven't. And they blame Joe Biden and Pete Buttigieg for everything. Oh, yeah, by the way, just another small little tidbit here. I'm just asking because I just figured I'd ask this. Has Japan sent us $550 billion yet?
I'm going to have to look for it.
I'm just remember Trump was talking, they're going to send us $550 billion to invest in America. Has Japan sent us that money yet? No, I don't think so. And by the way, while all this is going on, this is Donald Trump. They've transferred Ghislaine Maxwell from Florida to like a Texas country club prison. And they're inducing her, obviously, to exonerate Donald Trump. This is so bad now, we're learning that they literally have marked off Donald Trump's name in these files multiple times. And now the excuse from some on Trump's side is, well, he was a private citizen back then. So, we're trying to protect him.
Oh,
that's the excuse that they're saying now.
Now they care about protecting information of private citizens.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So this is obviously these job numbers, and we're going to play a little bit of audio later in the show. These job numbers are very, very bad.
Yeah.
This is not a good report. And we're learning 258,000 fewer jobs were gained in May and June, as was first reported. So this is abysmal. Even some anchors, which will play on Fox News and on right-wing entities, are that you can't spin this in a positive light.
Yeah.
And, you know as well as I do, tourism, particularly here in the Las Vegas area, way down.
Yeah.
Businesses that have shut down. There are some local bars and hangouts that I've been going to for 20 years that have shut down. Vamped is one of them. There's a bar in Las Vegas called Blue Martini, which I used to go to a lot, particularly in my 20s. They had to shut down. And it's interesting because Donald Trump was complaining about the economy every day that Joe Biden was president, every single day. And now all of a sudden, it's not his fault. It's everybody else's fault.
Yeah.
You find that interesting?
Yeah.
Everybody else's fault.
Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah. They're blaming Pete Buttigieg. They're blaming Joe Biden. They're even going back to blaming Barack Obama. And it just, I'm really worried. I'm worried about the future of this country for a lot of different reasons, but it's okay because they're making gas cans great again. We played that from Zelda yesterday. They care about banning books. They care about, attacking the trans community. These are the things that are very important to MAGA, and what straws we're using. That's very important to MAGA. But at the same time, they don't want to talk about gun control. And that's another thing. As you know, we had this terrible shooting that took place in New York City. And this shooter from Las Vegas, we had another shooting in Reno where several people lost their lives.
Yeah.
Don't hear about, they come up with all these bills for election integrity stuff. We have a few, we have election fraud, maybe a few people. And yet they'll come up with 300 or 400 different bills about election integrity. But when it comes to gun control, nothing
at all. I would love to hear some people call in from Vegas today and see how they can excuse the fact that our economy is where it is right now.
I mean, it feels like a ghost town.
I'm sorry, it does. Yeah.
Fremont Street a year ago, I'd be going down there, whether I'd be on a date or whatever, and you couldn't even walk. It was so crowded.
Yeah.
I'm down at Fremont Street the other day, and it's like it's a ghost town. It's like it's 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning during the week.
I know,
and I'm like, oh my God, this is reality.
Yeah.
This is real.
The Strip too.
Yeah.
The Strip is like, this time of year, kids are out of school. We should be seeing tons of people out, and there's really like nobody out. And that's a huge concern.
What do you attribute that to? Obviously the tariffs and a lot of Donald Trump's policies, certainly I would imagine have a lot to do with it. But what do you think are the main factors? You think those are the main factors on why tourism is down and why Vegas and the country is struggling, but Vegas in particular?
Yeah, I think also people just don't have any extra money right now. That's a big part of what Trump ran on, was that, everybody's going to be in a much better place financially. But the reality is people aren't, and people don't have money to come and visit us in Vegas, which, in most economies doesn't really matter that much. But for us, where we rely on so heavily on our economy being tourism economy, it's hurting. It's hurting already. And we're not even like a quarter of the way through right now.
Does it worry you? Because it's only been 6 months, right? In Donald Trump's administration, we have another 3.5 years to go. Where do you think this country is going to be at in 3.5 years?
That's what I fear. That's what I fear the most, because I think especially in a state like ours where we've shifted further and further to the right the last 2 cycles. Yeah. I very much fear for the midterms, and I fear, are we even going to be able to do anything? Because everybody says that, we're going to easily win the midterms. It's not going to be difficult. I disagree. I don't think that it's in the bag like everybody thinks it is.
I agree with you. So I always enjoy having people on the show that used to be MAGA, right? They used to be MAGA supporters. We had a lovely lady, former Playboy supermodel, which was really difficult to have her in studio. Her name is Ana Braga, and she used to be MAGA, and now she's completely on the other side of it. And the lovely lady we have on the show with us right now, I love the cowboy hat, by the way, I must say. Her name is Mercedes Chandler. She's known on social media as Camp Callout. She has a very, very large following, and she has a large following for a reason, because her content is very good. Mercedes, thank you so much for being here. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. So if I see somebody like you wearing a cowboy hat, my original thought is you must be MAGA. Is that just wrong of me to say?
No, I think that has been a stereotype for so long that I want to break. And I think like what we do even now is about breaking those stereotypes, because I don't think liberals should be put in a box. I think it helps fuel the culture war that MAGA feeds off of.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so take me through this. I'm sure you've been asked this question a million times. What was the deciding factor for you where you said to yourself, that's it, I cannot support Donald Trump anymore? What was like the final straw for you?
This past election cycle. So because I was working within an organization that was like heavy far right, there was just a lot of things that were real big red flags, constant lies. I know that eating the dogs, eating the cats was a big one, because they were running off of a Haitian migrant who did this. Yet when you looked at the news article, it was a woman from Canton, Ohio, who was born in the U.S. They falsely said that she was a Haitian migrant. When it came to, there was a photo that was circulating around Twitter. It's Donald Trump in blue jeans, treading through floodwater, holding a dog and a cat on either arm. And for one, we've never seen Donald Trump wear blue jeans. For two, it's obvious AI. He's got claw hands. It's circulating on Twitter major Republican accounts as a real image. It was seeing things like this over and over and over again during the election. Democratic hurricane machines, because hurricanes were happening during hurricane season. I would watch these things play out and I'd be like, wait, is this not only is like supporting the side like it's an actual insult to my intelligence, but the people, I don't know, they can't distinguish between fact or fiction. And that was a big turnoff. My mother, she was at J6. She's heavy QAnon. So watching the pipeline activate, it's too much.
So in 2016 and 2020, did you vote for Donald Trump?
No, I didn't vote at all. I was planning on this was going to be the first election that I was going to vote in, and I was straight up dedicated to voting to Donald Trump. I was very vocal about voting to Donald Trump. Made a lot of content because I used to be a Republican content creator, telling everyone to vote for Donald Trump. I was going to vote for Donald Trump, and then it was August of last year, the culmination of these election events from January to August, I dropped off. I said, oh, this is crazy, and then I switched my vote.
Well, I didn't vote in 2016 either. 2020, obviously, I voted for Joe Biden, but I understand where you're coming from there. A lot of people say one of the main reasons, and I think there's many reasons why Donald Trump won in 2024 and why Kamala lost, but she didn't get the younger vote. She didn't get people that are your age. She didn't get a lot of people in their 20s and in their 30s and maybe even in their early 40s. Why do you think that is? And what do you think Democrats need to do to make sure not only to have a successful midterms in 2026, but also get the presidency back in 2028?
I think a lot of it comes from the fact that conservatives have laid down the groundwork in these social spaces, which are highly frequented by young folk, for the past 10 years. They've dominated industries within YouTube when we talk about like workout culture, women who just like cook bread, farm culture, when it comes to Gamergate, when it comes to any kind of lifestyle influencing. They're a conservative pipeline to some degree. And I think that's how conservatives have really won back the youth vote. Because if you look at articles and studies from about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, there was papers coming out joking, being like, is this the death of the Republican Party? Is this the finale of the Republican Party? People are swinging left further and faster than ever. And all of a sudden it came to a stop. And you can see that correlate with their takeover of these online spaces. I think it's 81 to 87% of independent media is owned by conservatives. I don't know if you've ever seen that image floating around. It's a bunch of red circles and then blue circles. Red representing all these conservative media conglomerates and like influencers and YouTube spaces. The blue representing us. We're just like not in front of younger audiences because we haven't taken the time to carve out spaces on the internet. We have like left-wing influencers per se, but in the lifestyle sector of like just people who want to follow just everyday content, no, we're lacking.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. By the way, if you're just joining us, her name is Mercedes Chandler, not to be confused with Mercedes Schlapp, two completely different people. I want to be clear on that. Mercedes has over 500,000 followers on TikTok, over 500,000 followers on Instagram, and a very large following. What would you say in a PG-13 manner here, since we are on FMAM radio as well, to women out there that still support Donald Trump after the way Donald Trump has treated women his whole life, to people out there that have talked about the Epstein files for years? Now we know Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. For our brave men and women in uniform, or those who have served, who Donald Trump called suckers and losers, what do you say to these people in America right now that still won't admit that they made a mistake voting for Donald Trump, but still support him? What would you say to them?
I would tell them that, I guess I would just let them watch how the election plays out. Right now, if you go to Walmart, you're going to see prices increasing, like as we speak. If you're checking active tags now versus what they're displaying on the board, those are the cost of his tariffs. If we look at the election, I think it's going to end up speaking for itself. A lot of these people, I feel like they're going to continue to blindly support him because in essence, I do not like throwing cult around because I think it kind of devalues, cheapens the language of what is happening here. But there are a lot of people who have found identity in Donald Trump, in the MAGA movement, and I don't think a lot of them are going to stop supporting until he actually steps out of the White House. I think a lot of this support behind Donald Trump, at the end of the day, has nothing to even do with policies. These people have turned it into an entire identity. And I don't think there's much we can do for them until he's out of the picture. I believe even if like Eric Trump were to run down the road, that they would pick this up as a nostalgia tour, and these people would snap back into the mentality just because the name Trump is all over it. It's weird to see. He's populist. He's very populist, and populism sells with people hard.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I've said this before on the air, and I think I said this when Z was here too, that I really believe this, that if Donald Trump on video sodomized a child, there would still be a large percentage of his base of loyal cultists that would still support him. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, they would call it a smear campaign by the deep state, and they would argue it's just AI, and they would not skip a beat in believing, and these people have been primed to think this way. This was all strategic. Republicans for the past 7 years have been calling everything 10 to 7 years. Everything is fake. Everything is media smear campaigns. Everything is AI. They've done that strategically so that they are not culpable for anything, that they're never held liable. They can really do whatever they want to their voter base and then just deny it ever happened, deny their participation in it in the name of media smear campaigns, fake news, and AI.
Agree. Did you ever think, like, if somebody told you a few years ago that you would have, over 1 million followers on social media platforms, what would you have said a few years back? Would you have believed it?
No, especially because this all grew from August of last year to today. That's, if you check my accounts, all of them are only that old. So it's been like what, 8 months, 9 months? Oh, a
Wow.
year. I guess it's almost a year.
Wow. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome what you do. Not that you need a plug or anything because of your following, but if people do want to see your work and follow you and maybe want to interact with you, where would you recommend they go?
It would be Camp Call Out across all platforms. It's like we're going camping and we're calling out people. Camp Call Out across any platform. That's my username across everything.
Great. Well, Mercedes, I'd love to have you on again down the road. I really appreciate you taking the time to join us and look forward to meeting you at one of these Un-F America events. That'll certainly be a lot of fun. We'll have you on again soon, hopefully. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mercedes. Appreciate that. That's Mercedes Chandler, everybody. For whatever reason, her microphone was a little bit distorted. I don't know why, but that's okay. We'll have her back on again. And she's known as Camp Call Out on social media. And that was really fun talking with her. I love talking with people, number one, that maybe used to be in the MAGA cult, maybe, and I'm not saying she was in the cult, but people that used to be Trump supporters admit that they were wrong, admit that they made a mistake, explain why. I think that's the best thing you can do as a whole, as a human being, admit that you made a mistake, no matter what it is. And I feel like that's one of the worst characteristics of many of MAGA supporters today is they just can't admit they're wrong.
Yeah. That's why I love Mercedes, because I think she would even admit herself that she was part of the cult, but she had an open enough mind that she was willing to go to the other side, and she even was willing to get rid of a massive platform to do so, because she did have social media before and she restarted. So I think that's awesome. We need more people to do that.
And she's part of your Un-F America tour. She's doing great. So I look forward to meeting her as well. You got a lot of good people. So Robbie Roadsteamer, I can't wait to meet that guy.
Yeah.
Is that guy funny or what? By the way, Robbie's going to join us on the show next week again. I love Robbie. I'm a big fan. And, obviously we don't make light when somebody passes away. Hulk Hogan passed away, of course. But even though I think Hulk Hogan was a despicable human being and a racist and a pig, however, I have to say Robbie Roadsteamer's prank on Hulk Hogan was absolutely hilarious. So we might talk a little bit about that next week with him. All right, Z. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. Okay. And when we come back, we're going to be playing some audio of how the right is handling these horrible numbers that just came out today as far as job growth or lack thereof. Some people on Fox, believe it or not, are calling it out.
Wow.
And some people are ignoring it. We're going to play for you both sides, and I'll get your reaction to that. And then, of course, we'll take some phone calls on the other side. Z. Cohen Sanchez is joining us in studio. Of course, she is the person who started the Un-F America tour. She's a political operative, but unlike Roger Stone, she's never been convicted of any felonies. I want to be very clear on that. So we'll take a quick break. We'll take a 90-second break. We'll be back, and we'll take your phone calls on the other side as well. You're listening to Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
but just didn't think it was possible? Well, dreams can come true. Radio U. Radio U is a 5-day course that'll teach you how to acquire your dream show. We'll teach you how to host, how to write commercial, how to interview, how to market, how to write a contract, and most importantly, how to monetize your dream radio show. You'll learn from some of the best in the business with over 75 years in broadcast experience. You'll learn from people like me. And the best part, every single student will be live on the radio as part of the class. Plus, one student from each class will get their very own radio show. You'll be live on the air right here in Las Vegas. Radio U. The 5-day course is being offered at $699. For more information, give Radio U a call. 702-763-5024. That's 702-763-5024. Or check them out at RadioYOU101.com.
Nice crime and law enforcement. We put in the work to get to the bottom of some of history's most intriguing. Down.
All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits on a Friday. Thank you so much for joining us. Man, we've had a fun couple weeks here. We had Destiny on the show. We had Parker. The guys from Midas Touch do our show all the time. Ron Filipkowski comes on our show every week. We had Adam Mockler on the show. It's funny, those big-name right-wingers, they used to do my show. They've stopped doing it now. It's very interesting, like the Vivek Ramaswamis of the world, the Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s of the world. Caroline Leavitt did my show. Interesting. They don't want to do my show anymore. I wonder why that is. Anyway, joining us in studio, Zico and Sanchez, political operative, and of course, the creator of the Un-F America Tour. We appreciate Z being here. So as you know, as I mentioned to start off the show, the economy and the numbers that came out, the job numbers that came out today are terrible.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it, they're terrible. We've learned that there are 258,000 fewer jobs gained in May and June as first reported. We're also learning that this is the worst jobs report as a whole we've seen since 2020.
Wow, that's unreal.
So, Z, how are right-wingers dealing with this? Well, Maria Bartiromo, who I think is a complete right-wing buffoon, this is how they reacted this morning when they saw and heard the news. They called it disappointing. This is how Fox Business reported this, and Maria Bartiromo reported these numbers.
The NASDAQ down about 200, going 73,000 jobs. 73,000 jobs created in the month of July. Number just coming out.
And that's total.
4.2% is the unemployment rate, right in line with expectations. Here are the numbers. For the month of July, jobs came in at 73,000. That was lower than the expectation, which called for 110,000 jobs. The unemployment rate right in step with expectations at 4.2%. Steve Moore, your reaction.
Look, I think this is all a result, this disappointing number is a result of all the turmoil over tariffs and the trade wars.
Yeah, no crap. By the way, Donald Trump has just fired the labor statistics person. We're just learning right now. Yeah, God forbid we give out the truth. Yeah, no crap. It's because of Donald Trump and his tariffs. So I'm going to give credit where credit is due, okay? Telling the truth. Listen to this Fox Business commentator this morning talk about this July jobs report. Z, I have to give credit where credit is due. If they call things out as they are, and there are very few on Fox, but there are some, I think we have to give them credit. This Fox Business commentator this morning, again, she is the official Fox News business commentator. Listen to how she responded to this report.
Today's report is really going to shed more light that this was a very weak report. The revisions, certainly to May and June, are very concerning. I'm surprised unemployment is just at 4.2%. I know that, they're looking at that number, but they need to look at the whole picture. We do see a softening market. Now, there are jobs out there. I know you did ask me about that. There's still opportunities, like some of the hottest jobs, nurse practitioners, physician assistants. data scientists, analyst roles, but these are really skilled, high-level positions. These are the top occupations that are growing, and we need to get more people into these fields. They pay six figures, but a lot of those entry-level positions, Maria, are going away. So I am concerned about the labor market, that we need to get more people in trades and in skilled roles, because that's where the jobs are.
Well, for sure. And I think, you know, to discuss the healthcare, the marriage of healthcare and technology is huge, and that is creating lots of jobs.
Yeah, creating lots of jobs, Maria. But that was their official Fox Business commentator that was telling the truth. I can't believe I'm saying that. What do you make of that? I mean, that's Fox Business.
The question is, how quickly is she going to get sued?
Yeah, right.
Trump?
Yeah. I cannot believe I'm about to say this, because I can't stand Senator John Kennedy. I think he is an absolute buffoon and a despicable human being. However, today, I agree with Senator John Kennedy. He just did an interview on Fox News, and when he was asked about these job numbers, he couldn't hide away from it. I can't believe I'm saying this. I agree with Republican MAGA buffoon John Kennedy. Here's his reaction to these numbers.
Everybody in Washington now seems to be an economist, and some of them just don't know what they're talking about. Taking their advice is like, it's like taking the advice of a nun about sex. And a lot of them are trying to score political points. Let me try to be as objective as I can. It wasn't a good jobs number. It wasn't. The job market is softening. Our business people are creating fewer jobs. But on the other hand, unemployment stayed steady at 4.2%. We had job growth last month, annualized about 3%. Inflation has not spiked. Point three, you've got to put this in perspective. I wouldn't trade America's economy for the economy of any other country. Certainly not Europe, not China, certainly not Canada.
All right, so he's trying to spin it there at the end, and he doesn't want to make it all negative. That report was better last month and the month before. Hey, idiot, this is the worst report we've had since 2020. Okay? How many years is that? MAGA math, 5 years. Worst report we've had in 5 years. I can't believe Kennedy has to call it out. There's nothing else he can say, right?
Yeah, no, there really isn't. I mean, that's the thing is, I think that Trump is putting a lot of these Republicans in a place where they're either going to lose their integrity or they're going to have to say the truth. And I feel like, I hate to say this, honestly, but in a way, I kind of feel bad for them because I feel like, I mean, they're kind of damned if they do and damned if they don't at this point. And it's just because of his shitty leadership at every level.
There is one network that is trying to spin this as a positive. Yes, there is. That network is a network called Newsmax. Yeah. That would be Newsmax. So they're saying this is good news all around, but it's very interesting because they don't really talk about the report, and then they push to Hillary Clinton conspiracy theories, and it's really mesmerizing how anybody could watch Newsmax, let alone Fox Noise. But listen to this idiot anchor on Newsmax try to say that this is a good report, which, by the way, it's the worst one in 5 years. That's a fact. That's not an opinion. And then they pivot to Hillary Clinton conspiracy theories. Have a listen to this.
The month of July, unemployment rate ticks up 1/10 of 1 percentage point to 4.2, 73,000 jobs created. Unemployment rate is expected, jobs a little bit below what Wall Street expected at 110,000, but I would say mostly in line with expectations.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah, good.
So there we go.
News all around.
All right, well, we'll have more on that throughout the day, and remember, you can always go to newsmax.com for more breaking news. Now, let's get back to the newly declassified documents and more proof of what President Trump has always said, what many conservatives always knew: Russia, 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 an election scheme of the Hillary Clinton campaign. The month of July.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. Let's talk about Hillary Clinton. Let's talk about the dossier. You frickin' turds, you. All around, pretty good, though. No, it wasn't 10,000 jobs below, you dumbass. It was like 50,000 jobs less, number one. And again, I repeat, it's the worst jobs report in 5 years. Can you imagine what Newsmax and this clown would be saying with this idiot sitting next to him if this was under Joe Biden,
It's
the worst jobs report in 5 years.
Oh my God.
Oh, not a big deal. Everything's okay. Let's talk about the dossier.
They'd be talking about 24/7 for the next 3 years.
It's so insane, these people. They're so delusional. It's incredible. And then there's this moron, Stephen Moran. I don't know if you know who this guy is, and another MAGA buffoon. And CNN correctly points out, the CNN anchor correctly points out that June turned out to be the weakest month of job growth since December of 2020. That would be, let me just remind all of you MAGA supporters with Alzheimer's that are in the bunker, that was the last full month of Donald Trump's full term. It wasn't even Joe Biden, okay? And listen to how this idiot tries to spin it when this CNN anchor gives him the facts.
Your downward revisions for June and May. I mean, June was initially said to be 147,000 jobs added, now revised to be just 14,000 jobs added. That amounts to the weakest month of job growth since December of 2020. And you attribute that to what, if it is not in part because of the uncertainty created in part by the president's trade war?
Oh, I attribute it to the combination of the three things that I described before. About 40% of that is due to seasonal adjustment quirks around teachers. Some of it is due to declining foreign-born employment, even as we created more American-born employment, and that is going to net out in a way that you see ultimately reflected in the data like that. And then finally, there's the uncertainty, right? Don't forget, we were in the midst of restructuring the global trading system in a way that hasn't been done in decades. The president is standing up for American workers and American firms for the first time in decades. And of course, that was going to induce some uncertainty. It induced some volatility in financial markets, and we can see it induces some volatility in economic data too. But that uncertainty is resolved. The tariff rates are set. The one big beautiful bill is law. It's going to get better from here.
Yeah, it's going to get better, even though every economist that is not partisan says that we're headed towards a recession. And this buffoon, what did he talk about, teachers?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was like, wait, how did he get from jobs are down to it's the teacher's fault?
Yeah, they blame Joe Biden. They blame Barack Obama. Let me just say this one more time for my very special and very slow MAGA supporters, because many of you are very stupid. I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it. Many of you are very stupid, okay? Let me just read it out for you out loud, okay? This is the worst jobs report we have had since December of 2020. It was the last month of Donald Trump's administration. You are a bunch of buffoons. He did it then. He's doing it now. The only difference is, sadly, this isn't his last month as he leaves office and somebody else is coming in there. This is only 6 months in. Imagine where we're going to be 6 months from now.
What did the teachers do? That's what I want to know.
Listen, they claim that teachers are indoctrinating our kids. They want to talk about drag queens. They want to claim that you have this woman who does this jeans commercial, and all these Democrats out there are calling her a Nazi, which, by the way, they're not. J.D. Vance tweeted that out today, but yet he couldn't name one prominent Democrat that called her a Nazi. Eating the cats and dogs. They're calling this woman a Nazi. It's all their fault. It's Joe Biden's fault. It's Barack Obama's fault. Let me tell you something. I'm going to start saying this every day. Wouldn't have happened under Joe Biden. Wouldn't have happened under Joe Biden. Would we have had this? I don't know. Would we have had this shooting in New York City? I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't have happened under Joe Biden. Maybe it wouldn't have happened. I think we need to start saying that every day, not because I believe it, just because this is something that Donald Trump and the MAGA buffoons said every single day. We got a train derailment. Let's blame Joe Biden. Let's blame Pete Buttigieg. What about all these near plane crashes that are taking place? And you have this imbecile running the FAA who's blaming Pete Buttigieg. Oh, well, we're trying to fix it. Why didn't we have these issues under Joe Biden? I mean, it's insane. Every day they want to blame somebody else. Every single day. He's doing that with the Epstein files.
It's because God has cursed Pete Buttigieg because he's gay.
He's doing, yeah, you're probably right.
That's the theory.
They're doing the same thing with the Epstein files. He's blaming Joe Biden and Barack Obama.
And
oh my God!
They'll carry through with that conspiracy.
Yeah. So they're trying. Speaking of conspiracies, now they're trying to spin it. This is what Donald Trump said about these numbers. I'm going to read you verbatim what he said on his Lie Social account, as I call it. He says, "Quote:
I was just informed. Sorry, I'm a really bad Trump impersonator. I was just informed that our country's job numbers are being produced by a Biden appointee, Dr. Erica McIntyre, the Commissioner of Labor Statistics, who faked the job numbers before the election to try to boost Kamala's chances of victory. This is the same Bureau of Labor Statistics that overstated the jobs growth in March of 2024 and in August and September by 112,000. These were records. No one can be that wrong. We need accurate job numbers. So again, he's saying that these numbers are made up just like the Epstein files are made up, just like the votes were made up in 2020 when he lost. Anything that doesn't go his way, it's fake and it's made up. Any judge that rules against him, they're a left-leaning judge, even though they could be a judge appointed by George W. Bush or maybe even himself.
Yeah, that's always the way he goes.
It's just unbelievable.
It's unreal.
It's unbelievable. So if you don't lie for me and fake things and protect me for being a child molester, which, yes, I do believe Donald Trump is a child molester. He's certainly an adjudicated rapist. It's everybody else's fault.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Democrats. They made it up. They made up the Epstein files. I'm going to be honest with you. I think there are prominent people on the left and the right that are in the Epstein files.
Oh, yeah.
I
believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let it out.
Yeah.
And it's the fundamental difference right now between, and there's so many differences between most Republicans and Democrats. Republicans want to protect their adjudicated rapist president. His name's Donald J. Trump, Orange Man. And they're saying, listen, if Bill Clinton's in there, and by the way, I don't know if he is. He might not be. But if he was in there, it wouldn't surprise me. Mm-hmm. Let it out.
Yeah.
Let it out. But now we're learning that the FBI is marking out Donald Trump's name, and some people within the Trump administration saying, well, he was a private citizen back then. So apparently if you're a pedophile, but at one point you were a private citizen, you shouldn't be held to account.
That's insane. It's just gotten so out of control.
Z, what do you make of the fact that literally there was child trafficking going on at Mar-a-Lago? Literally, there were young girls working there, and Trump said Epstein took them to a spa. By the way, there wasn't a spa at Epstein Island. We know why he was taking them there, and that's why Donald Trump is angry at Jeffrey Epstein. They're taking teenage girls. He took teenage girls, took them away. Trump even admitted it.
Yeah, he did.
He even admitted it. But only difference is he said he took him to a spa. First of all, why would a 14 or 15-year-old girl be taken to a spa?
Yeah.
That's weird in itself, number one. And number two, we know that's not why he was doing that. Donald Trump knew exactly what Jeffrey Epstein was doing. There was child trafficking going on at Mar-a-Lago. Mm-hmm. This man is an adjudicated rapist, and he is a pedophile. And the man sexualizes his own daughter.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's just so obvious. I can't see how his supporters can still support him after knowing this. It's just so insane to me.
It's despicable. But many of these MAGA supporters, that's what they are. Here's what I would like to do. I would like to open up the phone lines, and I want to hear from all of you. The number to call is 702-221-7283. We'll put the number on the bottom of the screen. And Zico and Sanchez is joining us in studio. Luckily, she doesn't live too far away. She's nice enough to be here. She is the creator of the Un-F America tour, along with me, Destiny, and some other big names. I love Robbie Roadsteamer. I'm a big Robbie Roadsteamer fan. I listen to his songs all the time, and I just start humming them, you know?
Yeah.
He was on the Epstein list. You know, I start singing it. It's very catchy. He's a smart guy, though. He's actually a guy that could debate anybody, but his music is very funny, and I enjoy it. So we're asking you guys a bunch of questions, myself and Z. We want to know what you think about these new job numbers that just came out, which are the worst since 2020. Oh yeah, not when Joe Biden was president. The last report that was this bad was when Donald Trump was president. I just wanted to point that out. His last month in office back then. What do you make of these numbers and the excuses that MAGA Republicans are making, curling themselves into a pretzel? And yes, this Epstein story is not going away. Maxwell was just sent from Florida to a Texas Club Fed camp, as I would call it. And it does, at least it appears to me, that they're inducing her for testimony or something under oath where she would exonerate Donald Trump and get some sort of pardon. It's unbelievable. The people that talk about pedophiles and the people that claim everybody on the left is a pedophile are the same people that are supporting an administration that are literally trying to make a deal with one of the biggest sex traffickers on the planet.
Yeah. No, wasn't that the whole point of Pizzagate?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like their whole
Jack Posobiec, that Bumble Posobiec, as I call him. By the way, next time I go on Piers Morgan and I debate him, I will call him Bumble Posobiec, because the good Christian went on Bumble and created an account. By the way, I just deleted my account a week ago. Created an account while he was married. I'm not married right now, okay? And I don't have a serious girlfriend right now. So, it's like, this is the serious guy who says he's a wholesome Christian. He tells me to come up with facts, and this is the same guy who cheats on his wife and who's the one who started the whole Pizzagate scandal. It's despicable. All right. No surprise. The phone lines are completely jacked. They're full. So let's get right to them. 702-221-7283. We're starting off with Joseph. Hey, Joseph, what's going on, man?
Hey, Brian. Okay, here's my piece. Hearing those job reports says that Trump is very incompetent, including the administration are incompetent with it, and all they ever do is make up lies about it, and that's all they want. And that's why all they're doing is they're trying to hide the fact that they are failing. And it's going to make us to deal with that sort of thing. I mean, after all, and hearing the story about Hulk Hogan who died makes me think he's the reason why I left wrestling. And that's why I don't care if he's a racist, but me, I'm no racist either. I would never be like him. I would, if I'm dating any girl who's African American, I'll be gladly do that.
Yeah, well, as far as Hulk Hogan is concerned, I hope Andre the Giant is singing him "Try That in a Small Town" over and over and over again. By the way, I loved Andre the Giant. By the way, some more breaking news. And thank you, by the way, Joe, for the phone call. And listen, me and Z were just talking about this, okay? Elon Musk is also now claiming that there are some major Democrats donors that are also named in the Epstein files. Doesn't surprise me one bit. Yeah. I think Elon Musk is telling the truth. He certainly was telling the truth about, I got to give him credit, even though I think he's another despicable human being. He was telling the truth about Donald Trump. That's how it got the ball rolling here. Yeah. He said Donald Trump is in the, he knew it. He was in all these meetings. He knew it.
Yeah.
And he's telling the truth here. I noticed how he said donors, though. He didn't mention Bill Clinton's name. He didn't mention any high-profile Democrats in office or prior. He said donors. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. And guess what? Those scumbags that are in there, if that's true, and I do believe that's probably true, I want them held to account, just like Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Right?
Me too.
Yeah. He says Democrats and their donors. I don't know exactly which Democrats he could be talking about. But again, could it be a Bill Clinton? I don't know. Release the files.
Yeah.
Everybody on the left is saying that. Not everybody on the right, but a lot of people on the right are saying that.
They are.
A lot of people are. So I give them credit for that. 702 if I ever do, 702-221-7283. Let's go to Jake. Jake is next up on PTL. Hey, Jake, where are you calling from?
Hey guys, how you doing? From New York City. We talked a couple times before about sports stuff.
Thanks, Jake. Yeah, good to hear from you again. What's on your mind today?
Yeah, I know the jobs report speak for itself, but I wanted to talk about something else a little off topic is regarding about the redistricting map that's going on around not just in Texas, but other parts of the country. I was listening to Rick Wilson from the Lincoln Project, and he's really getting to a point now where like this is becoming a full-on stark alarm to the country because you're seeing how Greg Abbott bent his knee more than ever to this point. And kind of the things he was describing in the map, and I think this is kind of fairly obvious in the Republican Party now, is they're seeing to a point where they're even like Jacqueline Crockett's district is going to get even smaller, where they're trying to ostracize her out of Congress completely. So, I mean, obviously, I think there's a racist point to it, of course, but I think at this point now, like the Democrats really need to fight back more than ever because this is really no joke. They are showing full-on approach that they are trying to take control and power in any way, shape, or possible. And I know Gavin Newsom mentioned about taking parts of California. How far he's willing to go, I don't know. But Rick Wilson made a point to tell Democratic governors, start taking this seriously now. So I don't know what you guys have heard about this or just want to get your feedback about it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I appreciate your phone call. And by the way, I'm a fan of Rick Wilson. I think he's really, really good. So what are your thoughts on that, Z?
Yeah, I mean, I'm extremely worried. I mean, we all knew that this was going to happen, but the real key here is that how hard are we willing to fight back? And where we stand right now at this point today, I'm just not sure that we have the guts in the Democratic Party to fight back. I mean, we need to have been on the ground months ago, right? And especially with this redistricting, we're going to have to work even harder to fight this. So it's not a good situation. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's a very bad situation, especially in places like Texas, but all over the country.
Yeah, I agree. And I appreciate the phone call. Thank you, sir. By the way, Alexa on the YouTube super chat, thank you for the donation, says, I don't care if the Democrats or Republicans or whoever it is, they all need to pay in regards to the Epstein files. Yes. Alexa, I couldn't agree with you more. I've been saying that, by the way, for years.
Yeah.
For years, I've been saying that. But for whatever reason, MAGA Republicans out there want to continue to defend their orange turd adjudicated rapist leader. Shelly on the YouTube super chat says, Brian, you're so appreciated by all of us, and I hope you know that. We need you to help keep us sane. Probably we can return the favor, I hope. Well, Shelly, I wouldn't say I'm very sane myself these days, but I do appreciate that compliment. Thank you very much. And we do the best we can here. Thank you, Tinker, for your very generous support of the show and your donation. Says it's time to stop normal Trump. Elon is trying to distract, get the heat from Trump. Yes, Dems are in the files, but so keep the focus on Trump. Also, Maxwell transported to a clubhouse prison. MSM should be in this. Well, I did mention that, Tinker. I'm going to disagree with you, Tinker, a little bit. I don't think Elon is doing this to distract from Trump. I think Elon is just trying to be fair and saying, hey, it's not just Trump that's in there. I know there's some prominent people on the left, too. And guess what? I don't have a problem with him saying that.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
I think you should say it.
Yeah, I think he should. So Tinker, I think if he really wanted to take Trump, and by the way, I don't think he's any happier with Trump now than he was a month or two ago.
No, yeah.
I don't think he's doing that necessarily. I think he's just trying to play both sides and be honest. For once, I think Elon Musk is being honest. And he's saying there's people on both sides, not to use the same terminology that Trump uses with Klan members, but there are bad people on both sides here, not good people. And I believe there are prominent Democrats and Republicans in there. Get all these bastards.
Yeah.
The victims deserve justice.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. It would be horrible for us to say otherwise.
Right.
Because we're not a cult. That's what we got to stand on.
Exactly. Going back to the YouTube super chat, Britzerker says, what are your thoughts on the Orange Piggies White House ballroom renovation? Why should we pay for this? It's actually a really good question. I'll ask Z that question. And thank you for your support, Britzerker. What do you make of that?
We shouldn't, especially with these. To me, it feels so just disingenuous, for lack of a better word, to be putting that kind of attention on a ballroom renovation rather than putting attention on making sure that our economy is better, making sure that we have more jobs for people and that the price of groceries are lower. I just, and I really hope that his supporters look at that and could see that in an objective sense, but I don't think that they can.
I hope so too. YouTube super chat going strong here. The other disgusted veteran with a very charitable donation. We appreciate that. Says, Brian, I may have an article for you. Center for American Progress, July 1st, 2020. How white nationalism returned to mainstream politics. It seems enough people aren't talking more about Nazi marches around the country. I think he's right, isn't it? Proud Boy members, as I consider many of them to be Nazis. Completely agree with you. We were just talking about Nick Fuentes to the event that we're going in December that's going to be down there. Nick Fuentes is a Nazi sympathizer. Mehdi Hassan, I don't know if you saw that Jubilee debate.
I did, yeah.
We actually had one kid. He's a nice guy, but very off on the political spectrum. But he came in studio. Cyrus is his name. He was one of the people that was at that thing. And boy, there was a lot of Nazi sympathizers at that Jubilee thing. What'd you make of that?
That was, listen, I thought Mehdi did an incredible job.
As good as he could have done, right?
Yeah. To be in a room full of people like that. But I kind of, there's been a lot of discourse around Jubilee the last couple of weeks. And I got to say, I think it's really important that if we're actually going to change this country, we need to face the reality of what we're faced with right now. And the reality is that at least and this is a number just based off, what I see out there. I would say at least 20% of Trump supporters are, I don't know if I could say this on the radio, but white supremacists, right?
Oh, you can say that.
Oh, you can say that? Okay.
Yeah, you can say that.
And I think that because I know that there's been a lot of discourse around Jubilee and them platforming these people, right? And whether they should or shouldn't do that. I really think that it's important that we face the reality. I don't think we can change unless we do that.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Phone lines are still full. I'm getting text messages of people. I'm trying to get through. All right. We'll try to get to some more calls here. I'm rambling on. Let's go to Rebecca. Rebecca's next on PTL. Hi, Rebecca. Where are you calling from?
California. Hi, Brian. Hi, Z.
Hi.
Brian, can you do me a favor? And the next time a MAGA supporter calls, ask them how they feel about Trump having Lawrence Taylor, a convicted sex offender, speaking at the White House regarding children's fitness events and fitness in school.
I'm so glad you just brought that up.
Yeah.
I was reading about this last night, my dear. Lawrence
Good
Taylor
Lord.
is a piece of human garbage. I don't care how good of a football player he was for the New York Giants. I don't care. Lawrence Taylor, is a child abuser.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump not only had him speak at the White House, we should not be surprised, but he was also speaking about a subject that involves children. You cannot
Exactly.
you cannot make this stuff up, but yet they want to talk about drag queens.
Yeah.
They think it's a threat when a teacher in a school says it's okay to be gay, it's okay to be trans, everybody treated with respect. That's horrible. But a child abuser speaking at the White House talking about something that involves children, that's totally okay.
Yeah, I'm really, really interested to see what they say about it.
Well, I can guarantee you the MAGA idiots won't be saying anything about it. They won't care.
Yeah, they won't care.
They won't care because only if it fits their narrative. Let me be honest, okay? Let me tell you something. If Joe Biden had a child abuser speak about some sort of bill that he was passing that would help children, MAGA would be leading on Fox News, Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity, Mark Levin, the idiot Mark Levin, and everybody would be talking about it.
Yeah.
I guarantee you this story will not even be shared once on any of those networks. They won't even talk about it.
Well, we need to keep talking about it so they do speak about it on the network.
Maybe that's his pal from the Jeffrey Epstein files. I don't know. Maybe he's in there too. I don't know. I'm glad you brought that up, my dear.
Wouldn't doubt it.
I'm glad you brought that up. It's very important. I appreciate your call. That is very. Lawrence Taylor is a scumbag who abused kids.
Yeah.
And that's the guy that they chose to speak about this bill involving kids. That's everything you need to know about MAGA, right? That'd be like if you talked about some new bill that raises money for babysitters, and then you had the late Jeffrey Epstein up there in the White House. I mean, maybe that's an extreme example, but you get my point. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Rajesh, am I pronouncing that name correctly? Rajesh. Rajesh, I apologize. Where are you calling from?
No problem. Hi, Brian. I'm a longtime listener. I love your stuff. I love the way you hold people accountable.
Thank you.
Just how honest and truthful you are. I appreciate that.
Rajesh, where are you calling from?
I want to talk about racism in the Republican Party, particularly racism against Indian people, which I am of Indian descent, in case my name didn't give it away. I mean, I'm American. I was born and raised in New York.
Okay.
But I want to talk about Usha Vance in particular.
Sure.
Because she doesn't do anything to push back on it.
Yep.
When her party clearly traffics in racism. I don't know if you remember, but Laura Loomer, who's an unabashed racist, was thumping for Trump on the campaign last fall. And at one point told the crowd that if Kamala Harris wins the presidency, that the White House will smell like curry, which is a blatantly racist statement. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
So I'll give you even a step further and how despicable and embarrassing his wife is. And listen, I don't put it all on her, but I'm going to tell you something. Do you remember when the big balls controversy came out, right? And whoever that is went on social media and said it's basically okay to be racist towards people of Indian descent. That's what he said on social media. J.D. Vance was one of the first people that defended this guy. And instead
and he went home to his Indian wife.
Right.
I mean, the hypocrisy is just mind-numbing.
I would be the opposite. Your wife is supposed to be your best friend. That's what I'm told. I'm not married. Somebody that you support through thick and thin. And you would think J.D. Vance would be one of those people that would be calling up Elon Musk and saying, get rid of this piece of human garbage, and then put out a statement talking about how horrible it was. J.D. Vance did the opposite. He said this guy deserves
he didn't do
a
it.
second
You're right.
chance.
He totally dropped the ball.
What is his wife thinking? How does his wife even stand by him?
I don't know. Here's the thing, too. Kamala Harris, Brian, is half Indian, right? He's not even full Indian, which Usha is, which I am. Yeah. And I guarantee you, 10 gets you one. If some kid went up to J.D. Vance and Usha's daughter in school and said, hey, you know what? You smell like curry, right? They're half Indian daughter, just like Kamala Harris is. Then J.D. Vance would lose the 2 brain cells he has left. You'd be like, the woke mob attacked my daughter.
Yeah.
You're probably right about that.
That's true.
Listen, let me be very clear. Let me be very clear on this. Whether you're 50% Indian, 1% Indian, I don't care. Whether it's racist comments that we cannot tolerate in this country, no matter which race you.
With racism,
yeah,
the political.
I don't like Ilhan Omar. I've been very clear about her. I don't think she should be a congresswoman. I think she's an anti-Semite, and I think she's ignorant when it comes to a lot of issues. However, I defended her when that despicable piece of trash, Lauren Boebert, made comments about her, about having a backpack and a possible bomb. I don't care whether you're Republican or Democrat. I don't care whether you're 1% Indian, no matter what you are. It's horrible. It's wrong. We should call it out. And J.D. Vance is a piece of scum. He's scum.
But we don't condemn, Brian. We empower. If you are not coming out and saying this is wrong, you are saying, I am okay with this. You are empowering people who are racist.
I agree. Great call, my friend. I really do appreciate you, and I always got your back. And I'm with you. I don't care what the color of your skin is. I don't care what's between your legs unless I'm dating you. But anyways, that's another story. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the program. Let's go to Terry. Hi, Terry. Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. Hi, Z. I'm calling from Maryland. Just wanted to let you know that I've been a little hyper-vigilant tracking Trump's made-up economy with my monthly grocery receipts. And today I went shopping because it's the first of the month, and I had my old receipt from last month and compared them. Most of the things I purchased 9 items. Of 6 of those items, they went up from July to now $2 to $3.
Yeah. And then they're
And
talking
this
about.
was at my local Target store. So I can tell you right now.
Wait a second. Donald Trump would say you're lying. I thought everything was down. Gas prices are down. Inflation is down. The job growth. This is the golden era. I thought that's what Donald Trump was selling. Well, wait a second. Maybe he was just talking about the Oval Office and all the fake gold in there. I don't know. I thought everything was going down. What? I don't know. That's what I thought.
Yeah, well, I can tell you right now, I live around some MAGA people, and if I took these receipts to them and showed them the receipts, they would say, you made it up, you're lying, it's AI, even though I've got the date and time on the receipts when the purchases were made. Believe me, that's exactly what they would do.
Or they would blame it on DEI. They would do that.
Exactly. So I just wanted to put that out there to let people know that prices are definitely going up.
Prices are definitely going up, although I will say this. I found a hidden gem in Henderson. I was able to get a bottle of wine yesterday with a lovely friend of mine and a pizza for $20.
That's good.
A bottle of wine and a pizza, but it was happy hour. But
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun. My friend Andrew, who I'm sure is listening, gives me really good advice. And he always says I rarely take his advice, but I actually took it yesterday. He's like, Brian, I got this great place. It's a great place to take a date. It's fun. And he was right.
Where was it?
In Henderson.
Henderson?
What was the name of it? Oh, man. It's right next to the Raiders facility.
You can't beat that price for pizzas.
Yeah, it's right next to the Raiders practice facility. And forgive me, I'm forgetting the name of it. It's off of St. Rose there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. They had great deals there. Great place. And they don't even pay me to say this. I should get a free bottle of wine. Well, I didn't mention their name. 702-221-7283. All right, let's go to Caleb. Caleb is next on PTL. Hello, Caleb.
Hi, how are you?
Good. What's on your mind?
I'm a big fan of the channel, and I was wondering, what are your thoughts on how Donald Trump is doing in office?
Okay. Do you want to be a little bit more specific, Caleb, like in regards to the economy, or like where would you like us to go there?
More so his useless things like putting tariffs on random countries and
So let's
like
that's a fair question. Well, we've talked about the job numbers. We've talked about the worst report we've had since 2020. The American consumer is struggling. There are people that are getting laid off left and right. There are businesses that are shutting down. The worst part about this is that they're so stupid in the White House that they are bragging about the billions of dollars they're getting, but they're getting it from the American consumer. They're so stupid they don't even know how they're getting this money. It's the Americans that are suffering for it. Meanwhile, we still have idiots like Peter Navarro that are saying 90 deals in 90 days. He's made like 2 or 3 deals, and they're all bad deals. And then he's trying to sell us a load of fertilizer that somehow Japan is going to be sending us $550 billion. Can somebody ask Donald Trump, have they sent us that money yet? I'm just wondering. I mean, Qatar gives him a $400 billion, jet. I'm just wondering, or 400 million. Was it? It wasn't 400 billion.
400 million. Yeah.
Yeah. Little. That's a little steep for a jet. But I'm just wondering, where's all that money from Japan? So to answer your question, my friend, I give him an F-. We are headed towards a recession. That doesn't make me happy to say that. This jobs report is the worst report we've had in 5 years. This is a small sprinkle of what we are going to see in the future. And I hate to say that, but that's how I feel, Z.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm still wondering if Mexico ever paid for the wall.
Yeah, did Mexico? That's a good
did
question.
They pay
Did he lock up Hillary Clinton? Did he hire a special prosecutor?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
it feels
interesting. People that making $25,000 or more on tips, he's capping it at $25,000, and their taxes are going up. So really, they're losing money.
Yeah.
But his supporters are too stupid to understand that. So anyway, sir, I hope we answered your question there.
I totally agree. As someone who's a big fan of like historical artifacts and I love history, I can totally see another Great Depression
Absolutely.
because
Save your money, my friend. Listen to me. I appreciate your call, by the way. Save your money for a rainy day. And that rainy day is going to be the next 3.5 years of the Trump administration. I'm sorry. Let Democrats take the House and the Senate, and maybe things will get better. I mean, I'm not even a Democrat, but I'm going to tell you right now, things are not good right now. Let's go to Tony. Tony is next up on PTL. Hey, Tony, where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. I'm calling from California.
What's up, Tony?
It's just an observation. It's not about any one thing, but in my opinion, whenever I'm watching, Tangerine Caligula and his ilk, say something, saying, "Oh, this was faked," or "They stole the election," or "Oh, we're going to make money," it's like the question nobody ever seems to ask, and I feel like it's a really simple question that that's just going to completely throw them off. Is ask how. Like, how did they fake the numbers? How did they steal the election? How are we going to make money off of tariffs? Like, nobody ever asks. He just says this thing and then they move on. It's like, no, don't let them off. Ask how.
Yeah, because it's a fair point you make, and the way that they're doing it and how they're going to make money. Donald Trump is going to make money. His billionaire friends are going to make money. The richest people in this country are going to make money, while 99.9% of everybody else is going to struggle. They can't give you an answer. They'll lie,
exactly,
and then they'll blame Joe Biden. They'll lie, but you cannot. Again, nobody on Fox News will say this. Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham, at least nobody after 5 p.m. will say this is the worst jobs report we've had in 5 years. Democrats need to say this every day. Yeah. Every day they need to say Donald Trump is in the Epstein files, release the Epstein files and prove you're not a pedophile. And this is the worst jobs report we had in 5 years. The second worst jobs report was your last month in office. Why aren't they saying that every day? That should be the message.
Yeah.
No, some people are just, they're still diehards wanting to try to play by the rules. But the fact is, the game has changed.
Yeah.
I mean, the old way of thinking, and as noble as it may have been, just doesn't cut it anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say, we have to use the tools of our enemies to defeat them, but I feel like it's come to that. We've reached that moment.
Yeah.
Like, they're not playing by the rules. Why should we? I think it's time we start fighting dirty.
I love Michelle Obama, but when she said, when they go low, we go high, that was a different era. Yeah. And even I think Michelle Obama would agree. And even Barack Obama's made some statements recently, not to say to stoop down to their level, but I agree with you. It's time for us to stop being nice, my friend. And I completely agree with you. Great point, great phone call, and I appreciate you. I want to go to the UK. We have callers all over the planet that listen to this show, and I'm very grateful for that. I think we had someone from Puerto Rico that called in yesterday, from London, from Canada. Let's go to the UK. I love Paul from the UK. Paul, what's going on, my friend?
Yeah, hi there, Brian. Thanks for taking the call, as always. I want to make a point which came to my mind today because it's become topical again in Britain about Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, we had a series of murders in the 60s called the Moors murders, which was so horrific because a woman was involved. It was a couple. And the man, Ian Brady, used this woman, Myra Hindley, to entice young children to be tortured and murdered. And the case was so horrific, these couple were never released. When people lobbied for Myra to be released, saying she was in Brady's thrall, no government would release her because they knew they'd be literally overturned at the next election, because this case is still so horrific to this day. The point I'm making is I'm drawing an analogy between Epstein and Ghislaine with the Moors murderers. Ghislaine should be treated in the same light. She was the person who enticed these young girls into Epstein's clutches and hers. She enticed them. She was like the soft cell who brought them in. They thought, oh, a nice English woman with a nice accent, she's not going to do me any harm. And just like Myra Hindley was never released, she died in jail and people celebrated, Ghislaine should actually never leave jail. The thought that they may be negotiating with her to give her a sweetheart deal to get Trump off the hook should be horrifying to the American people.
So that's exactly,
and to all people.
So Paul, that's exactly what's going on right now. Let's be very clear about this. The Trump administration, Blanchett, they're not going over there to try to get the truth or to try to do anything for these victims. They're going over there to try to make a deal with her to exonerate Donald Trump. Let's be very clear on this. Donald Trump will never be exonerated. I don't care what Maxwell says. And if they, in fact, commute her sentence, the Republican Party should always be known as the party that supports pedophilia. Let's just call it for what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the fact that fact of the matter. That's exactly what's going on right now. They put her in this Texas Club Fed camp. And they're trying to induce her. They're doing everything they can to induce her to exonerate Donald Trump. These negotiations are for a pardon or a commutation for a sentence. We know that for sure, Paul. That's the only reason why they're doing this. And anybody that can support this is sick. You're sick.
And let me add one other thing, Brian. When it comes to Andrew, who's not Prince Andrew now, but Andrew, people in Britain want him held to account. By the way, we don't want him protected. I don't care who they are. People who do these things to children, I don't care whether they're Democrats, Republicans, princes or paupers, should be held to account.
Yeah.
No, nobody wants these people protected except the Republican Party, the GOP, MAGA. They're the only people protecting pedophiles.
I completely 100% agree with you, my friend. Paul, always good to hear from you, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend out there. Let's go back to the UK. I believe we have another caller from the UK. That would be Andy. Am I correct, Andy?
Yeah. Hi, Brian. Yeah, I agree with everything Paul said, by the way. Yeah, right. I recall 3 months into Trump's administration, the numbers came out, and he said, "Oh, that's Biden's numbers. Wait for the next numbers." Well, they've just come out, and look at them.
And what's their excuse? What can they say? Paul? What can they say, my friend?
Well, they blame Biden. Yeah, they blame Biden originally, and they said, "Well, you look, and the numbers will be amazing." And well, it's turned out they're not amazing.
Think about this for a second.
Can I just say?
Yeah. I just wanted to say, think about this for a second. The war in the Ukraine, they blame Vladimir Zelensky, right? The war in Israel, they blame Joe Biden. Okay. Everything that happens in this country, it doesn't matter what it is, anything negative, it can't be Donald Trump's fault. They always blame somebody else. Donald Trump can do no wrong. These people are all a bunch of morons.
I think he's instructed, the GOP to just lie, deny, and deflect. That's his creed.
Yeah, I think you're right.
His creed. But also, just one sort of doomsday thought. You've still got almost 3.5 years left of this.
Unfortunately, yeah.
What is American? I mean, he's going to gerrymander all the voting, and I fear that you're just going to be stuck with one party in America.
Unfortunately, and the MAGA Republicans on the far right are the party of. I'm sorry, I'm just going to call it for what it is now. If you still support Donald Trump, you're not just an imbecile, but you're a bigot. You hate transgenders, you hate homosexuality, you hate anybody that doesn't look like you. Migrants, doesn't matter. If you're not, if you're not like a white nationalist these days, if you're not a grand wizard, I mean, that's how I feel about these Republicans now. They're supporting pedophiles. I mean, these people are sick. And when I called it a Klan cult, what was that? About 1.5 years ago, I called it a Klan cult, and people were sending me hate mail. And how could you say that? It is. At this point, if you still support Donald Trump, you are part of the Klan cult of pedophiles. That's what you are from.
So, have you got hope for the next 3? 3 years?
No, I don't.
So, as long as you have a vision of America in 3 years' time.
No, not if Republicans are still in charge. Not if they're still in charge of the House and the Senate. Not if Donald Trump is still the president of the United States. No.
And you'll probably get canceled, no doubt, as well.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Let me.
Because you're speaking out.
Okay, so let me just say this though: the midterms are very important. If the Democrats have a good showing, then there will be hope. And by the way, I think they will. But Donald Trump's still going to be the president. We can't fall back on that. The midterms are important. Get these MAGA buffoons out of office, and then I have hope for that. But if you're asking me specifically for the next 3.5 years Donald Trump is still the president of the United States, if he doesn't choke on a KFC bone, then no, I do not have hope for the next 3. I don't, my friend.
My final word is that if the Democrats had half the backbone that you had, they'd be doing a lot better.
Well, that's very kind of you to say, my friend. I really do appreciate that. My backbone is average, but yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's kind of you. I love those callers from the UK. They're such kind, nice people. Terry Lynn on YouTube Super Chat says, thank you for all you do. Well, Terry, if not for people like you that are donating, I wouldn't be able to do this. So we appreciate all of you. Also, you can go to my website, pushingthelimits.live, where you can buy PTL gear, shirts, hats, mugs. There is a shirt up there that says, with my mug on it, that says, don't be a right-wing buffoon. That's my personal favorite and sells the best. I need to come up with some new shirts. Like, I don't know, if you're MAGA, you support pedophiles, like something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need to come up with, if anyone has any ideas for some new shirts, let me know. All right, let's go to Andrew. Andrew is next up on PTL. Hey, Andrew, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Massachusetts. I've been a real fan of you. It's a real honor.
Andrew, I grew up a huge Boston Celtics fan, so.
I am too. I'm a diehard Celtics fan.
And I just spoke to Dan Coe on the phone the other day. He worked in the Biden administration. Dan's a friend of mine, and he's also a Massachusetts guy. Anyway, I digress. I could talk about the Patriots and the Celtics and Nomar Garcia-Parra for years. But anyway, go right ahead.
Yeah. Anyways, I saw some things this morning though. I saw like the PBS broadcasting cutting things in the White House doing in the ballroom and things like that. I'm like, what the hell is going on with this? I'm like, he's investing all that in everyone else, but he's not investing in everyone else right now. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? He's supporting his friends, not as everyone else right now. And I'm thinking he doesn't want to help who doesn't support him.
Wait,
anything like that.
You mean he doesn't support the Un-F America tour? That shocks me. It's amazing.
No. I mean, like, he supports his friends.
Of course. Listen, let's be very clear on this. I don't know if you even knew this. In the Trump administration, his administration is worth somewhere along the lines of $60 billion. That's how much they are worth. They always say that it's the people, the liberals, Hollywood elitists that, have all this money. No, Donald Trump has been hanging out white elitists. Just look at Mar-a-Lago. Those are his friends. $60 billion. You think an administration that's worth somewhere around $60 billion cares about people, about raising the minimum wage? You think they care about taking 15 million people off of health care? You think they care about taking food stamps away from people? No, because it puts more money in their pocket with their tax breaks. That's what this administration is all about.
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about. Can I ask you a question? You know Mitt
ahead.
Romney pretty well. Mitt Romney was in your neck of the woods. What do you think of Mitt Romney? Obviously, you sound like someone who aligns with me politically, but what do you think of a guy like a Mitt Romney? I think there needs to be, while I don't agree with Mitt Romney on a lot of issues, I thought he was a pretty good governor. I think he's a decent man with moral character. I don't agree with him on policy, but I think Republicans need more Mitt Romneys and need less Marjorie Taylor Greens. That's my opinion.
Well, I think he's a good governor personally with you. I'm with that. I don't think I got a question about his mass health that he did. And then all of a sudden the 2012 election, he said he opposed it.
Yeah.
That kind of got me off guard of that. So I'm
right.
I'm like, what are you really thinking about that? But I'll give him this though. He's not really much of a MAGA. So I'll give him that personally. So,
yeah. All right.
But
fair enough. Well, go Boston Celtics, go Patriots. I just hung out with Tom Brady last month. I don't want to make you jealous. But
no, I'm taking it.
Well, I appreciate the call, my friend. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
I love my people back east. I
Keep up the good work, man.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you saying that. I grew up a big Boston sports fan. Grew up in Connecticut, but I never was a New York sports fan. I always grew up Boston, man. I don't know what it is about some of those Irish pubs walking on peanuts everywhere. I don't know. I just loved it. Kowalski is next up on PTL. Hi, Kowalski. Where are you calling from?
California, as you should know. How are you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good. Are you going to say hello to Z? She's
Hi.
going to feel left out here.
Absolutely. In fact, I was going to ask if either of you saw the Kamala Harris interview last night on Colbert.
No, I did not.
I did not.
Did you?
Really? Oh, that might be something you might want to invest a little bit of time into. It'll take you about 30 minutes or so. But she said some very, very interesting things that rung with me just very personally.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is she said straight up, the system's broken, and I don't want to be in it anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I can understand why she would make a statement like that. She obviously went through. Listen, she could have been
very personal interview, and I hope everybody gets to go watch.
I'll watch it. She could have been the first woman ever to be the president of the United States, and And obviously, I can't imagine the pain that she had to go through with all the work she put into it. And then let alone the person that defeated her. Like, it's one thing, if you lost to a decent person, that's one thing, right? If Barack Obama lost to John McCain, at least you say to yourself, well, we don't like Sarah Palin, or I don't. All right, John McCain's a war hero, decent man. I lost to someone with some integrity, but you lose to somebody like Donald Trump. It's got to be eating at her.
Something's wrong at that point, right? So like it really kind of it hit me right in the front of the head. I thought to myself, why did Democrats lose? And I had to really think about this through a whole lot of different terminology, a whole lot of mechanical thought going on. And it's because I don't think the Democrats know what they have. You got to think, everybody was complaining that they weren't going from point to point, talking to people on the ground when they should have been talking to them, doing the interviews when they should have been talking to them.
It would take us
really getting out there. They don't know what they have.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you, Kowalski, but we could talk about for hours the mistakes that Democrats made and how Donald Trump got back into office. But I think the more important conversation, with respect, is the future and the midterms. I've talked about that ad nauseum, why I think Donald Trump won and Kamala lost. Ad nauseum, I've talked about that. By the way, Congress has postponed the highly anticipated interview with Epstein associate Maxwell, originally scheduled for August 11th. And at this point, it has been postponed with now no new date. I find that to be very interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so we'll continue to monitor that as well. Maybe those talks didn't go as well as Donald Trump hoped they would go. Yeah. Can you imagine if Maxwell said, no, Donald Trump's in here, here, and here, and I'm not going to lie? Yeah. I doubt that, but it's interesting how they postponed it. Wonder why. 702, maybe you guys have a theory on that. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Tyrone. Tyrone is calling in next. Hey, Tyrone, where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, calling in from Baltimore. Go Ravens. I'm ready for the season. Let me say this about Maxwell. Two things about Maxwell. She's holding out for her best offer. So, no, she's not going to testify right now because she's holding out for her best offer, because who else they got? They got nobody else that can, testify about this thing, right? So she and most of her stuff may not be able to be corroborated. We don't know.
Tyrone, can you imagine for a moment, Tyrone, imagine if she does actually get a pardon? We are talking about one of the largest sex traffickers on the planet. In fact, many of the victims have come forward and said she's even more of a monster than Epstein was.
Wow.
We are talking about children and young teenagers that were raped. It's hard for me to even fathom and talk about this. Maxwell was at the forefront of it, and Donald Trump and members of his administration are trying to strike a deal with her. I never want to hear from any Republican ever again talk about children or talk about sex trafficking. I am done. And if they want to continue to talk about drag queen reading, they can shove it up their ass, because I'm done. I'm done listening to these hypocrites talking about sex. And by the way, I agree. Sex trafficking is one of the worst things you can do, and I want everyone held to account. But these morons on the right that have been preaching about this stuff, and then they support one of their own. It's sick. It's sick, Tyrone.
You're right. And you know what? I had a conversation. I called into a local radio station. They was talking about this morning. They said, well, you have no proof that Trump's a pedophile. I said, I may not have proof that he's a pedophile. I said, but he is pedophile adjacent, because I asked the host, I said, how many pedophiles do you know?
Here's what I would say to that. Here's the way I would have said that. And I like your answer, but here's what I would have said. Well, here's what we do have proof of. Donald Trump is a liable sexual abuser. The judge characterized it as rape. We know that at least 25 women have accused Donald Trump of rape or sexual assault, including his ex-wife in a deposition in court documents. We know that Donald Trump was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein. We know that he was on the flight list at least 7 times. We know that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files, and we also know that they're trying to hide it. So if those people want to play the game of, well, you don't know for sure if he did this, this, and this, they're the same buffoons who still think Donald Trump won the 2020 election. So guess what? They can all go to hell. They can go to hell.
I agree with you. And Brian, let me wrap with this. We've got to stop asking about what if we tell these Republicans this, or what if we tell them that, and how they're going. These people are in a cult. Donald Trump, they could come home tonight and Donald Trump could be in the bed with their wife, daughter, and mother, and they wouldn't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
The reality is, when the Democrats take control, just like the pedophile adjacent Republicans did, that's what I call them, pedophile adjacent Republicans. did this time around. The Democrats have to swing for the fences, expand the Supreme Court to 11. They have to redistrict in the blue states, you know, and impeach some of these judges that they have put on the bench, like this Count Dracula looking dude, Emil Bove. Impeach these SOBs.
I agree, Tyrone.
You get a president and the Congress. That president said, I'm doing three things. I'm expanding the Supreme Court. I'm impeaching these corrupt, unqualified judges, which includes that Count Dracula looking dude and those two guys on the Supreme Court, Gorsuch and the dude that like beer. I'm getting rid of. The Democrats got to swing for the fences because you cannot.
Brett Kavanaugh, the dude who likes beer. Brett Kavanaugh. Tyrone, I love the call, man. I love your fire. And quite frankly, I'll root for your Baltimore Ravens because I could give two craps what the Raiders do this year. I'll be honest with you. I really don't care. So our good friend, Ron Filipkowski, who I'm sure you're familiar with, he's great. He does our show every week from Midas Touch. He does such a great job at just breaking down the craziness and the chaos of Donald Trump. This is just today. He just tweeted this out. Donald Trump made a deal to move Maxwell to a cushy minimum security club-fed facility, had the worst jobs report come out in a decade, said the report was rigged, fired the government employee who made the report, moved 2 nuke subs off Russia to threaten them, and flew to a golf outing.
Oh my God.
That's all he's done in the last 24 hours. Oh my God. And this is the norm, I guess. This is the norm. This is the MAGA norm. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. What a shocker that the hippopotamus is now playing golf again. Maybe he'll win another club championship. Let's go to Christine. Christine, hi, thanks for calling in. Where are you calling from?
Oh, I'm a local, Las Vegas.
Oh, good to hear from you, Christine. What's on your mind today?
So, statement and a question. So the Epstein files. I'm a little concerned though because we know that they have redacted Trump's name from the files. I mean that's already been that they stated that, and a few other prominent people. They didn't state who they were.
Mm-hmm.
So these files get released. Trump's name's redacted. Sorry, I just got done running.
That's okay.
And what, Democrats are going to be named? And then how are we going to know that that's legit? And then we're supposed to start saying that we want the Democrat to help responsible. We don't even know if these files are legit. They weren't doctored. I don't trust any of it now.
Well,
so what do we do?
Here's the one good thing that we know. Donald Trump is in the files. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. He's in the files. If he wasn't in the files, the Wall Street Journal would have been shut down by now. He is. So the problem is when they release these files and they say, well, that was at a time when Donald Trump was a private citizen, that's going to be their excuse. Then they can't release any other names of people that were private citizens as well.
Yeah.
So if they do release one name of someone that was a private citizen, then they're going to put their foot in their mouth. So I'm not sure how they're really going to release any names. That confuses me, unless it's somebody that's still in elected office. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, so then there's going to have Ghislaine name people. Then that's how they'll do it. So she'll name them.
Yeah,
they can't do it because they were private citizens. But if she names them, but then we're supposed to put all of our weight into that. And that's truth because we all know the MAGA cult will.
See, if they call out,
only going to name Democrats.
If they call out people on the left that are in this thing, it's just going to make Donald Trump look worse.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You think?
Yeah, I do. So I don't know how they're going to handle this. Obviously, if Donald Trump had it his way, we wouldn't be talking about this at all. Nobody's names would be released. He just wants this story to go away. So now he knows the story's not going away. So what's the next alternative? Get my name redacted, use an excuse as, well, I was a private citizen, and let's just call out the lefties and make my base happy because my base is stupid. And they probably will think that because Maxwell exonerates me, it means I'm not in the Epstein files because my followers are idiots. By the way, he is right about that. So, you know.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So you think that they'll see through this, as stupid as they are.
Yeah.
You do think that they will see through this. Okay.
Yep.
Fingers crossed, Brian.
Yep.
Thanks.
Well, fingers crossed. All right. You have a good one. And I appreciate your phone call. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend. All right. Z Cohen Sanchez is joining us in studio. By the way, if you have any questions for her, she's the creator of the I wish I could just say that word because it feels so good. But the Charlie Kirk tour, we'll call it the F America tour, which I'll be a part of. I'll be down there in Phoenix. If you have any questions for her, she'll take your questions as well or comments. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Damon. Damon, where are you calling from?
Hey, what up?
You know where I'm coming from, Brian. I'm coming from around the corner from you.
All right. I'll assume that's Vegas.
Yes. I got some T-shirts ideas, and it's funny you said that because I was thinking about them today. I got about 4 or 5 I know that'll sell. But what the guy said about how it's time to fight dirty, it's past time to fight dirty. You had Gavin Newsom. He threatened in Texas, if y'all do what he know they're going to do, then I'm going to do it too. Why even wait? Just do it. Brian, it's a time when you got to fight dirty. It's a time when you got to throw dirt in their eyes. And this is that time. The way I see it is, if you ain't trumping, you ain't trying. You need to do everything. And for me personally, if I was a candidate, I wouldn't lie on camera, but I would lie to these Republicans face to face, because I had a girl that she wasn't happy unless I was cheating on her. And these people ain't happy unless you lying to them. So I would lie to them to their face, but on TV,
did you date Melania Trump?
No, but I'm just saying some people like that, Brian. They like to be lied to.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to keep telling them Jesus white and they'll be happy.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, I lie to all the women, and I tell them I'm very good in the sack. You know, that's something. Everybody just threw up.
How do I get those t-shirt ideas
Lunchtime,
to you,
everybody
Brian?
just threw up. What's that, Damon?
How do I get those T-shirt ideas to you?
Email me, and then let's work on that together, and we'll work something out. My email is always there, brianshapiro@kshp.com. That goes for you, Damon, or anybody. You have any of those T-shirt ideals, throw them my way, and we'll talk about it. Okay, my friend?
All right, cool. I like your guest. She got some good ideas.
I agree. She does. And that's why I'm part of the Un-F America tour. I absolutely agree with you. Thank you, Damon. Good to hear from you, even though you live right around the corner. That's very spooky. I'm just kidding, Damon. I'm just joking, Damon. I love you. Thank you for calling in.
All right, take it easy.
All right. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. I don't want people living around the corner from me. 702-221-7283. It's kind of freaky. All right, let's go to Eddie. Eddie is next up. Eddie's got to turn down his phone. I'm going to just make an assumption that Eddie might be a Trump supporter, but I could be wrong on that. Hello, Eddie. Who'd you vote for?
Salespeople in your home. Now, whether you want to roll up your sleeves if you're a do-it-yourselfer, or you want others to handle it, or maybe
pod this guy down. Okay, so this guy named Eddie, who's a Trump supporter, who calls into the show. He never makes any valid points, and I don't know if he's trying to play some other radio station or what. See, he's not listening. Eddie, would you like to have a conversation, or are you just going to be a jerk?
you want to sit back and relax.
All right, get rid of this clown. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. I think he was listening to the Roger Stone show. Very exciting stuff. Let's go to Jesse. Jesse is next up on PTL. Hey, Jesse, where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, calling from Dayton, Ohio. I had a question, comment about Ghislaine Maxwell, and I actually had a question for your guest.
Sure.
Yeah, as a victim of sexual assault and actual predator at my church, something that I'm hearing from a lot of Republican people, and even kind of people on the center right, they've moved the argument about Ghislaine Maxwell from we want to interview her to, well, we should at least want to hear what she says. And I just want to remind people that I've like forensically listened to these witnesses during her trial and the Epstein trial, and I looked at a lot of the papers, and it's almost unanimous. Every single victim of Epstein, almost all of them have said she's 10 times worse than he is. So when I hear people coming on and going, well, yeah, she's a predator, but, I want to hear what she has to say. They already did that. They already gave her an opportunity. So I don't like it when people are trying to normalize this, let's just hear what she has to say and let's talk to her. I don't want to talk to her. They should have threw away the key when they locked her up.
Well, let's be clear. I agree with you, but there's only one reason why they are talking to her is because they're doing it for Donald Trump. Of course. Yeah, I mean, there's only
it just shows you the fallibility with these people too. That they spent the last 4 years calling everybody that doesn't agree with them a pedophile, and now they're coming out and defending pedophilia.
Yep. Biggest hypocrites in the world. What did you got for Z? You said you had a question for her. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I had a question for her. I think it was a month or so. It wasn't that long ago, but it's about Charlie Kirk. There was I think he was Korean, fellow on Twitter, who came out and he said he had the highest IQ in the world, and he endorsed. He didn't endorse, but he said that Jesus is real and all that stuff. And I'm not trying to take Charlie Kirk retweeted the guy and said, here's proof that Jesus is real because he's the smartest guy in the world. And the reason I was asking you about it is because didn't this guy, I haven't looked into it too much, but isn't this guy like Liar? The guy that Charlie brought up? He said that he has like the world's highest IQ recorded, and Charlie kept promoting the guy and saying that this is justification that God's real and all this stuff. I don't know. I know you deal with Charlie a lot, and I was just wondering if you had any insight on that, and is that guy lying? And that's all I have.
Well, I'm sure he is if he's praising people like Charlie Kirk. He couldn't have that high of an IQ, let's be honest. But Charlie also, I mean, Charlie lies 24/7. I mean, I don't think anything that comes out of Charlie's mouth is true. And I think that a big reason why Charlie doesn't get pushback against this is because, like the other caller was saying, the Republicans play dirty, and we're never willing to play dirty. And so the UNF America Tour, we're not afraid to play dirty, especially with Charlie Kirk. If he wants to come for us, he can come for us. Like, we have no problem with it, because at the end of the day, somebody has got to call out the hypocrisy and the BS. And we're willing to do that because, yeah, I mean, Charlie, all he does is lie.
I mean, other than, Charlie Kirk taking his clothes off, is there anything else he could do that would be scary? Like
smile.
When he says he's coming after you guys, what is he going to come after you with?
I mean, listen, I'm sure that he's threatened lawsuits. I'm sure he does all that. But I mean, who cares? At the end of the day, like, we have to fight. We've got to play the same game that they're playing. Right now, we're trying to play a game with rules, and they're playing a game with no rules. Who is going to win that? I mean, clearly they're going to win every single time. So we've got to be willing to meet fire with fire.
I just want 10 seconds with Charlie Kirk. In fact, I want less time with Charlie Kirk than Stormy Daniels had with Donald Trump. It's like 9 or 10 seconds. That's all I want. I have a couple select words I'd like to say to him.
Well, Charlie never talks to any adult.
I know. He doesn't do it. He just likes to talk to a bunch of 18-year-old liberals and actors. Those are the people that he likes to talk to. And by the way, I did mean that. I think the scariest thing he can do to you personally or anybody in the UNF America Tour would be to take off all of his clothes.
Yes.
Or just his shirt.
Yeah.
That would be very scary. So
that might make me stop, honestly.
Yeah, it would make me throw up as well. So Tony on the YouTube Super Chat says, release the unredacted Epstein files. Hold all the, what is that word? Chomos accountable. Tony, I do agree with you. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you would like to be a part of the conversation. We've got Z Cohen Sanchez, by the way, in studio. She is the creator of the UNF America Tour. No Money says, Brian, half the MAGAs are pedos and protectors of them, and the other half are closet cases hiding behind their religion. What the hell is going on with these sick people? Great show as always. Thanks, No Money, for your money. Thank you, No Money, for your money. I appreciate it. Thanks for your support, my friend. All right, let's get back to the calls here. Who are we going to do next? Let's go to Ray. Ray is calling up next. Hey, Ray, where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, Daytona Beach, Florida. Home of DeSantis. I can't say it.
Those sexy white boots. Yeah, DeSantis and his sexy white boots.
I got a couple items. My groceries will keep going up, and I mention it to the MAGAs. They say, give them 6 months. 6 months later, see what happened today.
Yeah.
And
now
I
it's
told
6
everybody,
months.
just give them 6 months.
I thought it was 2 weeks. I thought everything is 2 weeks. Now it's 6 months. Yeah, it keeps getting longer. Yeah, give Vladimir Putin 6 months. Give everything 6 months. 90 deals in 90 days. Give it another 6 months.
On the airplane. My boy works for Boeing, and every couple of weeks I send him down to Texas to work on the quality control for the one they're building now. True or not, he says it will take 4 to 5 years to get that plane ready. You know, the gift plane?
Oh, yeah. The Qatar plane. Absolutely. $400 million plane. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Is it 400 million or 400 million?
I remember the Raiders back in '70 when they were awesome with Madden, Alzado, Anderson, Patusak. Awesome game. And my team is the Miami Dolphins ever since the unbeaten season. They used to beat up on each other.
Yeah.
Other than that, have a good weekend and enjoy yourself.
Well,
friend.
thank you, my friend. Stay away from Ron DeSantis and stay away from those MAGA pedophiles. I'm going to keep saying that now. The MAGA pedophiles. Yes, that's who you are. If you defend Donald Trump right now, you are a MAGA pedophile defender. That's what you are. You are no better than, in my personal opinion, anybody that's on that list if you support people like that. And guess what? If a Democrat is in there, and a big name Democrat, I'm going to call them out just as much. Anybody, R or D, next to their name. You're telling me that child sex trafficking wasn't happening at Mar-a-Lago when Donald Trump is openly admitting that this young teenage girl was, poached away by Jeffrey Epstein to go to a spa, which, by the way, Jeffrey Epstein never had a spa. I think we know why he took this young girl. Donald Trump knows, but his stupid MAGA supporters don't, because they're all a bunch of idiots. 702-221-7283, the number to call. Let's go to Pat. Pat is next up on PTL. Hey, Pat, where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Pat again from Maryland.
Hey, Pat, what's going on?
Every time I go to the gas station, whoever's next to me, I ask them, where can I find this $1.98 gas at? I want to know where this $1.98 gas Trump is talking about.
Ask Jason Aldean. He'll tell you find it in a small town. That's what he would say.
Exactly. And also, Brian, if Ghislaine gets out of jail, she's going to have a target on her either way.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, if she doesn't say what Trump wants her to say, or if she gets out, other people are going to be after. So I don't know which way. I don't even really want to hear what she has to say, really.
Neither do I. I think the only reason why she's going to be chirping is she's going to be lying for Donald Trump, because she knows she has the power. She has the cards here. And listen, and I don't believe anything she says any more than anything Donald Trump says. We know that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. We know that they are a full court press. I don't believe any of this stuff would be happening if Elon Musk didn't say that Trump was in the Epstein files. I don't think they wouldn't be talking to Maxwell. We wouldn't have learned through the Wall Street Journal. I say what you want about Rupert Murdoch. I give the guy credit. They've had some really good reporting on this story, and it's going to continue.
If she doesn't participate with him, she's going to be just like Epstein. They're going to do the same thing to her.
That's a good point.
I hate to say that.
If Maxwell did say something like, no, if I'm going to talk under oath, I'm going to tell the truth.
Exactly.
She probably wouldn't be around for very long. So I think that their theory would probably be true. I don't think Epstein committed suicide. I've had his brother on this show multiple times.
I don't believe that.
His brother Mark seems like a really nice guy, by the way. I feel bad for Mark.
Yeah, I've heard him on your show.
Mark seems like a nice guy. We text each other. I feel bad for him. He didn't do anything wrong.
Yes.
Mark just wants to know the truth about. Of course he wants the victims to get. Of course Mark wants the victims to get justice, but he also wants to know how his brother died.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him.
Exactly.
I don't blame him.
Exactly.
And then we get this video that's 3 minutes missing from this video.
Mm.
We all know, and they won't release the autopsy.
Because they're lying. That's why they're lying.
Why else would you not release the autopsy results? Huh?
Exactly.
Why else? Why else?
Trump has sent somebody in there to threaten her.
He was smothered. He was smothered.
Exactly.
And if you commit suicide, there'd have to be strangulation around the neck area. We know that. That's the only way the guy could have killed himself. He didn't. I guarantee you he was smothered. Somebody smothered him, and they don't want to release the autopsy records. And it just so happens that he died under the Trump administration first go around. I also find that very interesting. Didn't happen under Obama. Didn't happen under Joe Biden.
O'Reilly tried to say that it happened under Obama.
Yeah, O'Reilly is a complete imbecile, by the way.
Yes, he is.
Another guy who, think about how sorry of a human being you have to be. Now, listen, I'm not going to talk about Bill O'Reilly's appearance. I don't think he's like this ugly looking guy, but he's ugly on the inside. The guy struggled so hard to get, excuse me for saying this, he struggled so hard to get laid that he actually had to lure women, okay, and try to help them with their career because the guy couldn't get laid because he's such a creep and he's such a bad guy. Imagine being Bill O'Reilly. Like, they need to make a movie. You know, the movie Being John Malkovich? I wanted the movie Being Bill O'Reilly. How pathetic is this guy that he couldn't get laid and he had to, and how much money did Fox News pay out? Tens of millions of dollars to these women. I mean, for the sexual harassment, but he'll say it was all fake.
I think that was on Fox News when the actual reporter on there had to tell him, no, it wasn't under Obama. It was under Trump's
all right,
administration.
Another inappropriate question. I'm sorry, my dear. I have to ask because I'm very immature.
No.
If you had to have dinner, forget about the sexual stuff because that's just beyond the pale. If you had to sit across from one of these two men and have dinner with them for an hour and a half, would it be Bill O'Reilly or Charlie Kirk?
Brian, I've been divorced since 1992 and I enjoy my singleness. I don't want to look at either one of those ugly men.
That's fair. That's fair. That's a good answer.
I will eat by myself.
Family Feud. They say good answer. Good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer. Thank you for the call. Thank you for the call, my
Brian.
dear.
Have a great weekend.
I appreciate it. Okay. if you had to be in a room with one of the two, it'd probably be Charlie Kirk.
Charlie, yeah.
Because you'd want to address him, right?
Not because you'd want to talk to him. Yeah.
Not because you'd want to have dinner with him, because you'd want to address
I would
him,
have dinner with Charlie.
Would you really?
Yeah.
All right.
Of course,
Wow.
yeah.
That's ballsy of you to do that.
Yeah.
I would want to have a conversation with him.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't want to have dinner with him.
Oh no, I'd go out on a whole day with him if he'd let me.
You know what I'd like to do?
It.
Here's what I'd like to do with Charlie Kirk. I'd like to get on a helicopter with him and then drop him right down on a Klan rally. Just drop him right there, right in the fire pit. That's what I would like to do. Francie, thank you for your donation and your support of the show. We appreciate you. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Let's go to Chris. Chris is next up on PTL. Hello, Chris. Where are you calling from?
From Las Vegas. I had a question for Z, actually. What do you think is the best way to convert Republicans to our side? Do you think that's something like to do with Unfuck America, or do you think it's doing some groundwork game? And I don't know if you also saw the South Park episode. Do you think that had anything to do with what you did? Do you have any influence to like why they're like showing Charlie Kirk on South Park now?
All right, just a prerequisite though, we do have to watch our language.
Sorry,
so yeah,
it's
watch our language. That's okay. Go ahead and answer.
I mean, I think, we're going to have to do a lot of groundwork for us to compete in the midterms. That's clear, especially with the redistricting of the maps. I think that we have to address the groups that we've lost. We've lost a lot of groups that we shouldn't have lost. And that's why Enough America Tour is so focused on Charlie Kirk, because he swung the youth vote 9 points to the right. We need to swing that back to where it should be, which should not be on the right at all. And that means that we have to continue to visit college campuses. We have to continue to push back against Charlie, because every single day he's growing his base, and that's really dangerous. In terms of the South Park episode, I mean, I do think that South Park is looking at somebody like Charlie because of his influence with Trump. And I do think that we're playing a role in the sense of, I think that they are probably have seen some of our pushback. I mean, Dean Withers' video has gotten to 40 million views, right? I'm sure that they've seen that. And this is the first time the Democratic party, not even going to say the Democratic Party, but the Democrats, at least us, right, are pushing back against it. So I hope that it has something to do with it. I do.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris, for the phone call. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. 702-221-7283. And again, that number to call if you want to be a part of the show. We got a few minutes left here. 702-221-SAVE. I love getting calls not only all over the country from all different types of people, but I also love the fact that we have a diverse audience, and that's always going to be very important to me. You listen to these right-wing idiots like Mark Levin. That's what they are. They're just despicable people. Mark Levin, Sean Hannity's of the world, Clay Travis, they're all the same. They're all white people, number one. And you get occasionally you get women that'll call Sean Hannity and like, "Hi, Sean, I love you. I love the show." You freaking dopes. I like these women that listen to Sean Hannity, dad bod Sean. "Hi, Sean." Oh my God. 702-221-7283, the number to call. Now somebody's going to call up and be like, "Hey, Brian." What's up, Jeremy? Jeremy, where are you calling from?
Boston. How you doing?
Austin, Texas. What's up, my friend? What's on your mind?
Boston.
Oh, I apologize. Very different. Boston and Austin, Texas.
Very different.
Very different. What's up, Jeremy?
Well, I'm going to use your new MAGA pedophile phrase to raise this question. How do you think the MAGA pedophiles feel about Ghislaine Maxwell's new prison home as she moves from her maximum security prison in Florida to a club fed in Texas?
Jeremy, that is a very, very, very good question that you ask. And I would ask any MAGA Republican that question. How do you feel about one of the biggest sex traffickers ever to now be sent to Texas Club Fed camp? That is a very good question, Jeremy. But you know who won't be asking that question? Nobody on Fox News.
Most people on Fox.
Nobody on Newsmax. Nobody on OAN. Mark Levin won't be asking that question. He'll be praising Benjamin Netanyahu, and they'll be talking about how horrible transgenders are. But can you imagine? Close your eyes for a moment, unless you're driving. Can you imagine?
I'm driving, so I'm not.
Okay, don't close your eyes, sir. Barack Obama or Joe Biden decided to bring Maxwell to a Club Med. Can you imagine what MAGA Republicans would be saying today if they, hypothetically speaking, which they would never do, but if they did? Do you remember what they were saying about Anthony Weiner, who, by the way, never did anything to children other than he did one serious thing, and there was an underage girl he claimed he didn't know he's sending explicit photos to, by the way, which is awful. I don't defend him for that. But MAGA Republicans wanted to give him the electric chair. Okay?
Yeah.
And I don't defend his behavior, but Maxwell's one of the biggest sex traffickers in the world. Jeremy, it's a really good question you ask, but none of these MAGA Republicans will be asking that, right?
No, they protect the pedophiles. You know, Donald Trump had a pedophile stand next to him at the lectern yesterday talking about the presidential fitness test. It clearly doesn't bother them.
Nope, it doesn't at all. And keep in mind that Donald Trump is also the guy that sexualized his own daughter, talking about her body. If she wasn't my daughter, I would probably date her. He said they have sex in common, which was beyond uncomfortable. This is the guy literally who is an adjudicated sexual abuser who bragged about grabbing women by the genitals. Ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake about it. This is the Republican Party in 2025. And if you're one of those Republicans that doesn't support that stuff, then you should not have voted for him. Because if you did, you have no excuses.
No, none at all. They're the party that is totally okay with what's happening and allowing, you know, the leader of the biggest, you know, underage child sex trafficking ring to get, you know, hotel luxury treatment while, you know, some guy who works at a gas station is getting deported. So
yep, I'm with you, my friend. Jeremy, go Boston Celtics. I appreciate my Boston callers. Thank you, my friend. Here's something interesting. We were told with Elon Musk's Doge that they would save $2 billion. Then it went down to $1 billion. Then it went down to $140 billion. Well, guess this new statistics that's come out. That's actually a new stat that's been put out by multiple entities that are very credible. It appears that Elon Musk Doge generated some $21.7 billion in waste across the federal government. Now that's what they're claiming. They're claiming it's $21.7 billion among the first 6 months. We were told $2 trillion and $1 trillion. And then we were told $140 billion. Now it's down to 21.7. I do find that very interesting. That's all. I'm just saying. 21.7 billion, and yet Donald Trump is taking his trips to Scotland and his golf courses. That's interesting. 722-221-7283. Frank is next. Hey, Frank, where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. Hey, Dee. Wisconsin, buddy.
What's on your mind today, Frank?
I'm calling from Wisconsin.
What's on your mind today, my friend?
Did you hear, I don't know if you saw it on YouTube blog, but Donald Trump has a idea for a surveillance system for Americans.
What's that?
Did you hear?
No, tell me about
it. Some kind of system that will track people in the United States.
Have you heard of that, Z? I haven't heard of that. No. I think if we had a system that tracked pedophiles, that'd be great, because then we could find that there's one that's sitting in the White House hanging out every day. So maybe at Mar-a-Lago. Yeah.
And then another thing is, did you hear that ICE lawyer for ICE is a white supremacist?
No.
Yes, it was on YouTube.
I'll check that out, Frank. I'll check that out, Frank. I hope you have a great weekend, you cheesehead you. I mean that in a good way, because you're from Wisconsin, even though I'm not an Aaron Rodgers fan. But where is Aaron Rodgers playing now? He's in, he plays for, where does he play for? I don't even know. Is Aaron Rodgers a Steeler? Really? Gosh, I hate Aaron Rodgers so much with a passion. God, I hate that scumbag. 702-221-7283. What a mega dolt that guy is. Let's go to Mike. Hi, Mike. Thanks for calling into PTL. Where are you calling from?
Is this me?
That's you. You're it.
Awesome. I am calling from Nashville, Tennessee. I'm
Nashville. All right.
Actually, I'm watching you guys on Really American on YouTube.
Cool.
I've never caught your show before, so I'm a first-time viewer, first-time watcher.
Thank you.
And as soon as I saw you guys were putting out the number, I wanted to call and interject some information and get an opinion.
Okay.
I don't know how much information about this has been spread nationally on the news, but apparently this week, Nashville, the Tennessee Governor Bill Lee, along with Bill Hagerty and Marsha Blackburn, got together with Sean Duffy, and they all agreed to hand over public state land to Elon Musk, a billionaire, for free to build a 10-mile tunnel connecting the Nashville International Airport to downtown Nashville. And there was no public.
Well, how do you feel about that?
Period.
How do you feel about that?
I'm furious. I want to know why our state is bypassing the mayor and the legislators in the district where this is going to take place.
Well, I think it's this. I think it's. You correct me if you disagree, but I think it's the same reason why Donald Trump is defying the Supreme Court and our Constitution, because they don't respect the rule of law. And Sean Duffy is.
Well, I know they don't respect.
Yeah.
I know
Duffy's
they
an
don't
imbecile.
respect the rule of law.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if these specific Republicans have come in and stepped in and handing this over to Elon Musk as sort of a carrot on a stick to try to distract him and keep him from continuing on this Epstein.
Yeah. Hey,
thing.
Elon, stop
They wanna
talking
give him
about
something else.
Elon. Stop talking about Donald Trump being a pedophile. We know he is, but please stop talking about it. Listen, we're gonna offer you this, and we're gonna bypass the mayor and do absolutely. That's absolutely. Listen, that's why Elon Musk donated so much money to the Trump campaign to begin with, because he wanted these dirty deals to be done, because he knew it would help himself. Elon Musk doesn't care about
100%.
America. He doesn't care about his own kids. Elon Musk just cares about his own ego. That's all he cares about.
I don't know. I don't know how much of this is being reported nationally. I don't know how many people are aware of this. Tennessee is all limestone, and much like the state of Kentucky, there are interconnected caves all through it, especially in Nashville. Now, he's already built his big gigafactory down in Memphis, which is a nightmare for the people who live there, and it's right next to the Mississippi River. Now he's about to build something that's either going to run right alongside underground or across under or next to the Cumberland River, which is the main.
This is something else that's really important that I need to mention to the listeners. This is a Tesla-owning tunnel, my producer tells me. Is that correct?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, it is. That's
How
right.
despicable.
And the
well,
reason that they
terrible.
pushed it through so quick is because he said he was going to cover himself. It's going to be a private thing, so it wouldn't be any cost to any taxpayers. That's why our governor is saying that they don't seem to think it should matter.
I
what
want
the
you to give us
citizens
an
and private
update.
landowners
If
are
you have
aware
the
of.
time, sir, I would like you to give us an update next week. We are not going to let this story go away. We are not going to get Elon Musk and all these other corrupt politicians like Marsha Blackburn, who I think is a phony.
I'll try to.
And
I will try to.
Yeah, well, keep giving us updates.
I can tell you one thing.
Yep.
If you want to find out the most information on it, there's a organization called the Tennessee Holler. They are doing a fantastic job of covering this.
Well, I
Look up
appreciate
everything you can on it.
I will.
And they will keep you updated.
I appreciate that, sir, and I appreciate your call. And it's also a pleasure to have those people from the Really American Network calling in. This is our third week with that network. They have 600,000 YouTube subscribers. They have over 1 million on Facebook. So to be teamed up with them is truly an honor. So we're happy to do that. Z, I want to say it's always great having you here. Talk to me about what you got planned and how people can get involved with the UnF America tour.
Yeah, so things have really taken off the past month. We're super excited about it. We're raising money. We're getting national press. We should be on CNN next week, which is going to be really exciting. They've been following the tour, but we are still trying to raise money for our college campus tours. So if you want to donate to us, please go to our website, UnF America Tour. It is the full word, unfamericatour.com. You can donate to any of our creators and they get back 15%. So if you're watching Brian's show, you love him, you want to donate to him, he's got his own link on there, which he'll benefit from too. And then also, this is really exciting, but on Sunday, they're releasing a Jubilee episode that I'm going to be on. So I will be debating my old boss, Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks. So if you want to tune into that and share that,
That guy won't text me back, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
I've been texting him. I've been texting him, say, hey, Cenk, I want to get you on the show. He won't text me back.
Yeah,
it's very hurtful.
I mean, let me just tell you, no spoilers, but I don't think that Cenk won that debate. So
He's changed a lot, and I think he's always. This is just my personal opinion. I think he's always been a two-faced phony.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of his. I do agree with him on a number of different issues, but I have changed my opinion on Mehdi Hassan. I was a little critical of him, probably a little bit too much when it came to his thoughts on Israel, and I'm beginning to say that I was wrong. And I think it's very fair to criticize Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli government. I've been doing that. I've been putting them on blast, and I'm on Mehdi Hassan's side, and hopefully we're going to get him on the show.
He's great.
And Francie, thank you for your support. Great show. Thank you. Helps me keep sane. Well, thank you, Francie. I would say it helps keep me sane, but I think maybe it doesn't. My friends would tell me. But anyway, Z, it's always a pleasure having you here. Thank you so much
for having
Let's
me.
do it again really soon.
Yes.
And I love what you're doing with the UnF America tour, and I can't wait to be a part of it and go on the road with you guys and get to scream at Charlie Kirk. That's going to be a lot of fun.
We're excited for
Appreciate
that.
you being here, Z. Have a great weekend.
Yeah,
Thank you all so much. We'll see you on Monday, same time, same place. Have a great day, everybody.
Everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian